Remove your bra. Keep everything else on. The translator repeats it, slowly, like she misheard, but Sergeant Walker, 26, from Alabama, nods. That's the order. 87 German women POWs stand frozen in the processing tent. April 1945, Allied POW camp, Eastern France. Temperature 8 degrees Celsius, fourth day after capture. But something's wrong. There's medical equipment, X-ray machines. Why X-ray machines for this? Das macht keinen Sinn. This makes no sense. Liesel, 24, Luftwaffe Auxiliary, whispers to Brigitte, 29, signals operator. They've heard about American soldiers, about what happens to women, but this order doesn't match any propaganda. Walker isn't leering. He's holding a clipboard, medical forms, official stamps. Behind him, technicians calibrate equipment, not soldiers. Medical corps, white coats over uniforms. This isn't what they expected. It's stranger. The metal hooks on their bras click as nervous fingers touch them. Standard Wehrmacht issue, steel under wire, strong enough to last months, strong enough for other things. But the Americans can't know about that, can they? Brigitte steps forward first, hands shaking, not from cold, from confusion, from the absurdity. Keep shirt on, keep everything on, except this one thing. The logic breaks her mind. The fabric pulls away from skin. Cold air hits her back through the shirt. Embarrassment burns her face. But Walker isn't watching. He's writing, recording, documenting something medical. More women follow, each removal careful, modest, confused. The bras pile in a metal bin, tagged, numbered, like evidence, like they matter, like they're dangerous. Dr. Harrison, 38, enters with nurses, real nurses, not soldiers. They're preparing syringes, taking notes, setting up screening stations. This is medical. But why the underwear? Why this specific command? The X-ray machine hums to life. Lead aprons distributed, chest examinations beginning, the connection still unclear, until the first woman steps forward, until she stands against the plate, until Walker checks his equipment. Something's beeping, loud, insistent. Not the X-ray, something else. A handheld device. Black. Military issue, pointed at the bins, at the pile of removed underwear. Quick question, comment below. What would you think if enemy soldiers asked for just one piece of clothing? But when the first woman removed her bra, the metal detector started screaming. The underwire. Steel. Setting off every security alarm in the camp. Captain Morris, 33 security officer, waves the detector over the pile. Continuous screaming. Each bra contains enough metal to trigger every checkpoint. 73% of German military bras had steel reinforcement, regulation design, built to last, built too well. 15 false alarms daily since these women arrived. Guards rushing, weapons drawn, finding nothing. Until someone realized. The metal wasn't hidden weapons. It was hidden in plain sight, under clothes, supporting, structural, innocent, and dangerous. Metall in Unterwäsche? Metal in underwear? Annalisa, 21, a nurse, can't comprehend why this matters, why Americans care about underwire, why security systems detect clothing. But Morris has reasons. 3 days ago, different camp. German POWs walked through metal detectors. Nothing triggered. Hours later, locks picked, fences cut. 2 escaped. The metal came from somewhere, from underwear dismantled, from structure repurposed. The detector keeps beeping, each bra examined, cataloged, the underwire removed, tested, some filed sharp, some bent into tools, some twisted into lockpicks. German ingenuity applied to Allied steel. Corporal Dixon, 23, operates the fluoroscope, new technology. Shows metal in real time. The bras appear on screen, wire clearly visible, hooks prominent, adjustable slides. Each component potentially useful, potentially dangerous. But why such paranoia? Why suddenly now? The women don't know, can't know. About the outbreak, about what happened 2 camps over, about why medical screening became urgent, about why metal interferes with saving lives. Morris documents each piece, weight, gauge, flexibility. German engineering, even in underwear, even in support garments, everything standardized, everything quality, everything potentially weaponized. The embarrassment fades into confusion. Women watching their underwear treated like contraband, like evidence, like weapons. The metal cold against ribs becomes memory. The support structure now threat assessment. Some women understand. Martha, 31, glances at others. She knows, they know, what they tried, what they planned, what underwire becomes with time and desperation. The Americans figured it out, somehow. Dixon holds up one wire, straightened, sharpened, found in returned clothing. Someone spent hours grinding, honing, creating, the edge fine enough to cut, to slice, to escape. The pile grows, each bra a security risk, each underwire a potential tool. The women stand straighter without support, stand confused without understanding. The Americans had a reason for this paranoia. 3 women had already tried something nobody expected. Underwire sharpened into weapons, hooks picked locks, fabric hid maps. Martha stands silent. 3 nights ago she tried. 4 hours grinding underwire on concrete, edge sharp enough to cut rope, almost made it through the fence. Almost. Guards found her, found the tool, found the truth. Lieutenant Barnes, 35, investigating officer, displays the evidence. 12 modified bras recovered, each one ingenious, each one different, maps drawn on fabric with burned matches, messages sewn into padding, hooks reformed into picks. Wir mussten kreativ sein. We had to be creative. Gisela, 26, seamstress from Munich, admits this under questioning. No metal allowed in camps, no tools provided, only what they wore, only what seemed innocent. 2 successful lockpickings before discovery, storage sheds, medical supplies taken, food hoarded, preparation for escape, all from underwear components, all from German military engineering, all from desperate innovation. Barnes shows photographs, other camps, similar discoveries, bra straps braided into rope, padding used to muffle sound, elastic bands became slingshots, women's underwear as escape kit, hidden, innocent, deadly effective. The wire scrapes concrete in demonstration, sound distinct, recognizable. Guards trained now to hear it, to investigate, to prevent. The grinding that turns support into weapon, into hope, into possibility. Locks click open under Barnes's demonstration. Standard padlock, German underwire, 30 seconds. The hook bent precisely, inserted carefully, twisted specifically, freedom through fashion, escape through undergarments, maps sewn into fabric with hair, invisible until heated, showing guard rotations, fence weak points, forest paths, information gathered, hidden, carried against skin, warm, secret, waiting. The women watched their ingenuity exposed, documented, admired reluctantly. American officers impressed despite themselves. German engineering even in desperate improvisation, even in survival creativity. But this is only part. Security explains confiscation, explains metal detectors, doesn't explain medical equipment, doesn't explain X-rays, doesn't explain the urgency, the fear in American eyes. Barnes files the evidence, case by case, woman by woman, skill documented, threat assessed, potential cataloged. These aren't helpless prisoners, they're engineers, creators, survivors, wire against concrete, sound of hope, sound of determination, sound of women refusing defeat, using everything, even underwear, even support garments, even the most intimate items. The truth emerges. Security isn't paranoid, it's responsive, learning, adapting, discovering German women more dangerous than expected, more creative than assumed. But the real reason for the order wasn't just security, it was medical. X-ray machines, chest examinations, metal interfering with TB detection, Dr. Harrison explains through the translator. Tuberculosis outbreak, neighboring camp, 12 dead in 2 weeks, screening mandatory, immediate. But metal underwire creates shadows, false readings, missed infections, death hiding behind steel support. 31% of POWs have active tuberculosis. 8 women here critically infected. Don't know it, can't know it. Without proper x-rays, without clear images, without removing metal interference. Sie wollen uns helfen? They want to help us? Liesel stands against the cold plate, chest exposed through thin shirt, no bra, no metal, clear image, the machine humming, capturing, revealing, saving potentially. The x-ray shows everything: lungs, heart, ribs, and shadows, dark spots, infection, active, spreading, would have killed her within months. And without treatment, without detection, without this moment. Nurse Campbell, 27, marks the film. Positive, requiring treatment, requiring isolation, requiring American medicine for German enemies, the irony absolute, the necessity undeniable. Metal causes 60% false readings, shadows where none exist, clear where infection hides. The underwire that protected modesty preventing protection from disease, the steel that supported killing through confusion. The machine hums for each woman, each chest, each life, documented, diagnosed, determined, some clear, some infected, some dying without knowing. The revelation systematic, medical, merciful. Harrison reviews films rapidly, practiced, professional, seeing through bodies, into disease, into futures, sorting, prioritizing, saving, German women, enemy women, human women. The cold plate presses against skin, through shirt, without support, vulnerable, exposed, but revealing truth, revealing infection, revealing why Americans insisted, why metal had to go. Lead aprons protect operators, heavy, necessary, radiation controlled but dangerous, like tuberculosis, like war, like everything here, managed danger, calculated risk, measured salvation. Brigitte's X-ray shows massive infection, explains her coughing, her weight loss, her night sweats, symptoms dismissed as stress, as fear, as capture trauma, actually disease, actually killing, actually treatable. The films accumulate, evidence, diagnosis, futures determined. Some will die, some will live, difference determined by metal removal, by compliance, by this bizarre command. Campbell organizes treatment protocols, isolation wards, medicine distribution, American resources for German prisoners, the logic medical, the ethics clear, the politics irrelevant. But the women don't understand yet, don't see salvation, see vulnerability, see exposure, see shame. The women who refused the order didn't know what happened to those who complied. Free treatment, American penicillin, for enemies who expected execution. Brigitte receives the first injection, $200 per dose, more than most Germans earned in a year, into enemy veins, into enemy recovery, into enemy survival. The needle pierces skin, medicine cold spreading, life returning. 89% recovery rate with treatment, without it, death in months. Germany has no antibiotics left, no penicillin, no streptomycin, no hope. But Americans have abundance, share abundance, with enemies. Find Medizin für Feinde? Enemy medicine for enemies? Ingrid, 22, recovering in isolation ward, can't comprehend. Americans bombed her city, killed her brother. Now, save her life. The contradiction breaks understanding. Dr. Coleman, 41, tuberculosis specialist, monitors each patient. Dosage calculated, response documented, recovery tracked. German women receiving American medical excellence, best treatment available, better than American civilians receive. The medicine works immediately, fever breaks, coughing reduces, breathing easier, the infection retreating, defeated by American chemistry, by enemy science, by conqueror's mercy, by incomprehensible compassion. Liesel counts pills, antibiotics, vitamins, supplements, more medicine than her military hospital ever had, ever saw, ever imagined, for her, for enemies, for the defeated, logic absent, humanity present. The isolation ward fills, German women, American medicine, International Red Cross oversight, Geneva Convention requirement, but beyond requirement, beyond obligation, actual care, actual concern, actual healing. Coleman explains through translator 6 months treatment, full recovery expected, return to Germany healthy, or stay, work, live, options, futures, possibilities, from tuberculosis diagnosis, from metal removal, from bra confiscation. Breathing becomes easier daily, measured, recorded, celebrated quietly. Each clear breath victory, each strong heartbeat American gift. Each day survived enemy mercy. The women understand slowly, incompletely, gratefully. Ingrid writes home, can't explain, family won't believe. Americans treating tuberculosis, Americans saving German women, Americans spending fortunes on enemy health. The letter impossible, the truth unwritable. The medicine continues, daily, scheduled, monitored, side effects managed, recovery progressing, lives saving, lives worth saving apparently, even enemy lives, even defeated lives, even female lives. Nurses check constantly, temperature, pulse, recovery, American nurses, German patients, professional, kind, impossible. The war inverted, enemies healing enemies, victors saving vanquished, treatment protocols posted, in German, translated, explained, transparency, education, respect, for prisoners, for enemies, for humans. But when male German POWs arrived, they had different orders for the women. Schlampen! Whores! Major Hoffman screams at women who removed undergarments. The word echoes across the compound. 1,500 male German POWs arrived yesterday, see their women in medical wards being treated by Americans after undressing, partially. The rage immediate, absolute. Major Hoffman, 42 Wehrmacht Infantry, spits toward the medical tent. These women dishonored Germany, dishonored the uniform, dishonored themselves, removing clothing for enemies. For any reason, for medical screening, irrelevant. Ihr habt eure Ehre verloren. You've lost your honor. He declares this publicly, loudly. Other officers agree, nodding, sneering, judging. The women who survived, who complied, who live. Annalisa tries explaining. Tuberculosis, X-rays, metal interference, medical necessity. Hoffman slaps her. Hard. American guards intervene, immediately, violently, protecting German women from German men. The irony sharp. Colonel Mitchell, 45, camp commander, orders immediate separation. 0 contact allowed. Male POWs relocated. Different section. Different universe. Women isolated for protection. From their own. From their protectors. From their judges. The damage is done. Every woman heard. Schlampen. Whores. For removing bras. For medical screening. For choosing life. For accepting treatment. For surviving wrong. Hoffman shouts while being dragged away. About honor. About death before dishonor. About proper German women. About choosing correctly. About dying correctly. His voice fading. His judgment remaining. The women stand silent, shamed. Not by Americans, by Germans, by men who weren't there, who didn't face the choice, who didn't have tuberculosis, who didn't need screening. Some women stop treatment, stop eating, stop hoping. Hoffman's words working, honor questioning, identity shattering, the medicine saving bodies while judgment destroys souls. But others rage, quietly, internally, at Hoffman, at officers, at men who would rather they died, who prefer dead honor to living dishonor, who judge from safety. Liesel continues treatment, defiant, alive, improving. Each pill swallowed despite Hoffman, each breath taken against judgment, each day survived proving something, to herself, to nobody, to everyone. Guards increase. Americans protecting German women from German men, from German honor, from German death wishes. The security now different, internal, cultural, lethal. Spit marks the ground where Hoffman stood, where he judged, where he condemned. The stain remaining, visible, symbolic. German judging German, enemy protecting enemy. 3 months later, the women received letters that changed everything. You undressed for Americans. Don't come home. Liesel's father's letter. 4 sentences, ending her existence in Bavaria, in Germany, in family memory, because she removed a bra for tuberculosis screening, for medical necessity, for survival, 67% received rejection letters, families ashamed, communities gossiping, stories spreading, distorted, amplified, weaponized, German women undressing for Americans, context irrelevant, details unnecessary, shame sufficient. Besser tot als entehrt, better dead than dishonored. Martha's husband writes this, already remarried, already replaced her, already erased her, the convenience of assuming death, the horror of discovering survival, wrong survival, shameful survival. Captain Shaw, 32, processes alternative futures, emigration papers, American sponsors, work visas. 34 women apply immediately, choose exile over explanation, choose future over past, choose life over German judgment. 18 will marry American soldiers, not for love initially, for papers, for escape, for distance from letters like these, from families who prefer death, from honor that kills, from Germany that rejects survivors. Paper crumples in Liesel's hands, ink smearing with tears. The father who sent her to war, who celebrated her service, who now disowns her survival, for removing underwear, for preventing death, for choosing existence. Brigitte doesn't open hers, knows, feels, understands. The envelope enough, the judgment clear, the verdict predetermined, burned unread, ashes scattered, past cremated, future uncertain. Shaw stamps documents, each stamp salvation, each signature escape, each form freedom from judgment, from shame, from families who don't understand, won't understand, refuse understanding. Some women write back, explaining, pleading, providing medical documents, X-rays included, tuberculosis results, treatment records, evidence, proof, truth, letters returned unopened, evidence irrelevant, judgment final. Annaliese's mother demands suicide, restore family honor, die properly, correctly, Germanly. The letter detailed, instructions included, methods suggested, efficiency, even in ordering death, German precision in demanding destruction, but America offers different letters, job offers, nursing positions, factory work, sponsorships, futures, dignity, life, the contrast absolute. Enemy offering what family denies, victor providing what homeland rejects, the women divide, some returning anyway, to fight, to prove, to confront. They disappear into German shame, into silence, into statistics, others board ships, to New York, to Chicago, to anywhere accepting, to anywhere forgetting. Tears on ink, dreams dissolved, families lost, futures redirected, because of metal, because of medicine, because of survival. One woman kept every medical record, every X-ray determined to prove the truth. 1965. Liesel opens a medical file, TB diagnosis, treatment records, proof, 20 years of carrying evidence, every X-ray, every prescription, every American signature, proof she wasn't what they said, wasn't what Germany believed, wasn't what family condemned, was patient, was survivor, was right. She's 44 now, head nurse at Chicago Memorial, treating Americans who don't know, don't care, about her past, about the bras, about the shame. They know she heals, she saves, she serves. Die Wahrheit siegt, truth prevails. Eventually, slowly, partially. Hoffman died bitter, wrong. But his widow comes, to Chicago, to apologize, to understand finally. The medical records speak, the evidence clear, the judgment reversed. 18 women became American nurses, saved thousands of lives combined, used skills, used training, used survival shame transformed into healing pride. The mathematics of vindication, the accounting of truth defeating lies. Walker visits annually, retired sergeant, aged, grateful. He ordered the bra removal. He triggered the shame. He saved their lives. The complexity, the paradox, the friendship impossible but real. The yellowed paper proves everything. Tuberculosis positive, treatment successful, life saved. By Americans, by enemies, by the order that seemed insane, that seemed violating. That was salvation. Liesel's clinic treats everyone, Germans, Americans, everyone. No questions about past, about war, about sides. Only healing, only health, only humanity. The lesson learned, carried, practiced. Other women write, from across America, from new lives, built on shame, on rejection, on emigration, on survival. They compare evidence, share proof, validate each other, create truth together. The X-rays held to light show clearly the spots, the infection, the death prevented, by metal removal, by compliance, by the moment that destroyed honor but saved lives. Brigitte runs a TB clinic in Los Angeles, specializing in immigrant communities, in those rejected, in those shamed, in those who survived wrong. Her expertise born from experience, from infection, from treatment, but some never escaped judgment, returned to Germany, fought for recognition, for understanding, for acceptance. Some succeeded, most didn't, died defending truth, died with evidence, died right but remembered wrong. The medical files accumulate meaning, legal documents, historical evidence, personal vindication, proof that undressing meant screening, that metal meant interference, that compliance meant survival, handshakes firm between former enemies, Walker and Liesel, sergeant and nurse, order giver and order follower, both right, both wrong, both human. The underwire that once trapped them became the symbol of their survival. Museum display, German military bra, next to penicillin vial, full circle. The underwire that caused problems now tells stories of innovation, of survival, of misunderstanding, of salvation, behind glass, permanent, validated, the metal that triggered everything, that saved everything, that destroyed everything, that created everything. 73 of 87 survived tuberculosis. 12 became medical professionals, saved estimated 5,000 lives combined. The mathematics of metal removal, of compliance, of survival transformed into service. Aus Scham wurde Stolz. From shame came pride. Brigitte's daughter speaks at the opening, doctor herself, treating tuberculosis, understanding her mother's story, finally, completely, proudly, the inheritance of survival, of shame transformed, of truth vindicated. Dr. Harrison's son attends, also doctor, also understanding. His father ordered removal, saved lives, created shame, enabled futures, the complexity inherited, understood, honored, the paradox of healing through humiliation. The display explains carefully metal interference, X-ray shadows, tuberculosis detection, medical necessity, historical context, cultural misunderstanding, everything documented, everything proven, everything vindicated, finally, publicly, permanently. Visitors read quietly, learning, understanding, re-evaluating. The story complex, nuanced, human, not propaganda, not simplified, not comfortable, true, difficult, important. The museum lights bright on the wire, on the medical equipment, on the photographs, on the evidence. 20 years of proof, displayed, validated, acknowledged. The truth in metal and medicine. Liesel donated everything, every document, every X-ray, every letter, the rejection, the shame, the vindication, all there, all public, all proof that she was right, that they were right, that survival was right. Young medical students study the case, the ethics, the culture, the conflict between medical necessity and cultural sensitivity, between saving lives and preserving dignity, between survival and honor. The underwire speaks silently of German engineering, of American paranoia, of medical screening, of cultural blindness, of human creativity, of desperate innovation, of survival instinct, of everything. Comment below. When misunderstanding creates shame, who bears responsibility? Those who assume or those who don't explain? The granddaughter touches the glass, where the bra sits, where the story lives, where her grandmother's shame became her mother's pride, became her inheritance, became her understanding. 5 words confused them. Remove your bra, keep everything. What followed, metal detection, TB treatment, family rejection, eventual vindication, proved dignity survives even the strangest misunderstandings.